Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield such time as she may consume to another member of the Financial Services Committee, Mrs. Bachmann from Minnesota.
Gentleman from Minnesota is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise as the chief co-sponsor of H.R. 4008 to support this important bill, and I want to associate myself strongly with the remarks from the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Mahoney, and thank him for the important work that he brought to bear on this bill. Also for Mrs. Bean for her work on the bill, and also for Mrs. Biggert as well for working with me to help protect American businesses and consumers from frivolous lawsuits. Millions of consumers across America will experience a little extra pain in the pocketbook unless Congress passes the Credit and Debit Card Receipt Clarification Act, and businesses across America, both large and small, from Main Street to Wall Street, will be hurt as well. And they're watching Congress this week to see if we care, and second, if we're paying attention to them. They're watching us to see if we can work across the aisle, which I'm happy to say we are working across the aisle, to pass a simple but critical update to the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, otherwise known as FACTA. In an effort to prevent theft and fraud, Congress required through FACTA that businesses print, as was stated earlier in our testimony, only the last 5 digits or less of a person's credit card or just the expiration date on transaction receipts. Many companies made sure that they printed no more than 5 digits of the receipt, but they also printed the expiration date. Many simply just weren't clear on the new requirement. Unfortunately, trial lawyers in America saw opportunity knocking, and they found a way to take advantage of this situation. Lawyers' eyes lit up with dollar signs, and they began filing suits against companies across the United States. And any company that kept printing the expiration date along with a few of the card's digits instead of just one or the other became a potential litigation target. However, identity theft prevention experts say that 5 digits of a credit card plus an expiration date printed on a receipt are not enough to steal someone's account. All of these people, however, are being sued on a technicality that poses no threat to people's credit or their debit accounts. Take, for example, in my district, the Rockler Companies Incorporated, one of the many family-owned businesses in my district. Rockler sells and distributes products both to the woodworking community, and unfortunately, they became a fallen victim to just such a frivolous lawsuit. Unfortunately, they have already had to pay out over $30,000 in legal expenses for this wonderful small business in Minnesota. Not because they did anything wrong, but because Congress, because this body accidentally left open a legal loophole. That's $30,000, something that can mean life or death for one of America's small businesses. This bill on the floor today is very important. It may not seem like much, but H.R. 4008, the Credit and Debit Card Receipt Clarification Act, closes that loophole. It liberates American businesses, usually small businesses, from frivolous lawsuits. They still have to update their receipts. They still have to comply with FACTA, but they can't be dragged through years of lawsuits because they printed a credit card expiration date. If they print enough information to give thieves a toehold, they still can be sued. If they print over 5 digits of the card number, they still can be sued. If they do anything that puts a customer's accounts in real jeopardy, they can be sued. But they cannot be sued for this remote congressional technicality. That's only right. With H.R. 4008, consumers will be protected on both ends of the transaction. And after all, who will pay the real price for this? Businesses across America will have to offset the cost of these lawsuits by raising their prices, if they can, and American consumers will be left holding the short end of the stick, or the business will suffer. At a time when Americans are already squeezed by the rising cost of living, by outrageous prices of gasoline at the pump, this is the last thing we need right now in our American economy. I'm so happy that we are working together, hand in hand across the aisle, to show the American people that Congress is actually listening to them today, listening to their concerns, and acting wisely on their behalf. The Credit and Debit Card Receipt Clarification Act is pretty simple. It's no nonsense, it's fair, it's necessary, and it's bipartisan. And that's good for businesses, it's good for consumers, and I thank and urge all of my colleagues in the House and ask them to join both Congressman Mahoney and myself in supporting this wonderful bill. And I yield back.